if you can get people to watch something that you're not paying them to watch, then you've done something as a marketer that's like pretty cool. We always felt like brand was a moat.
Sometimes I watch your stuff. I feel like I'm not cool enough to get it all the way.
If it feels like it's really like you're missing something, it's probably just honestly that it's probably stupider than you're giving it credit for.
It takes a little bit of courage for a corporation to be able to turn over their social accounts in this way and say like, yeah, go make a bunch of jokes about coming and ejaculation.
You said that word. I didn't. The double entendre is only a double entendre if you never acknowledge.
Really, we're just in it for the awards.
Give me the awards. All I want is that Webby. I want validation at the table.
Why do you think brand matters in 2026?
AI's ability to really replicate everything and anything means there are very few things that you can really hold as like uniquely us. I have zero worry about being replaced by AI because I think AI doesn't do stupid stuff like that.
You generated 96 million impressions on Twitter. I'm wondering if we could read some of the tweets. Today, we're going to talk about drop the mic marketing campaigns. So what happens when you take a true creative who's also a marketer and you give them the full trust and backing of the executive team? If you're lucky, they'll slip into a flow state and they will create magic for you. And that certainly seems to be the case with Ariel Rubin at Air. And I'm so excited to break down what he's up to and some of my favorite campaigns that he's been working on today. Ari, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm delighted to be here.
So are you chronically online?
Twitter was my sort of drug of choice as a young man. And I really loved being on Twitter when I was young and I thought it was fun. And now I'm not on it anymore because I think it's awful. But I still compulsively check it, but I don't post or anything.
I was never on Twitter.
Oh, wow.
And now I feel like I am like illiterate at something. Like I log in and I'm like, okay, I need to figure this out. I was actually going to ask you for some tips.
Oh.
And I log in and I just don't even know what's happening.
Well, it's weird. It's a weird space. I mean, it was never like a good space. It was never like positive, but it was funny. And it used to be like for brand Twitter. And I used to do brand Twitter stuff because I used to work at I worked at the UN and then I worked at the Red Cross and then I worked at a gas station in Iowa called Kum Go.
That's the natural trajectory I was expecting for you.
Yeah. And I did social. I did Twitter for all those places. And the funniest thing would win or the most clever. Like you really had to be good. And it wasn't like now it's like an absolute, just a horrific place. Like people being like disemboweled and then you're seeing fake video. I mean, it's just all like insane. And I find it quite overwhelming. And for my own like sanity, I can't really be on too much. And it's all like, you don't know what's right and what's real. And anyway, but at the time it was like really like, you like kind of learn how to like, you had to like be really funny in 140 characters, which was like really hard to do and like really clever. And I was like, what's the one word or the one reaction or the one emoji or something that's going to really, capture this voice that you're trying to build. And so I really enjoyed that. I don't know how I would go into it today though, because I think it's kind of a crazy place now.
So when you were running communications for the gas station chain Kum Go, which that is just such a name.
It's a great name.
You generated 96 million impressions on Twitter.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if we could read some of the tweets.
The really sad thing is it was bought by a company, another gas station company, and they deleted everything.
That's insanity.
Like burning the Library of Atlantis. I think it was heartbreaking.
Why would they? Don't they understand the value of brand?
No, it was really sad. But I saved some. I don't know if that's what you're referring to, but I have some on my website. I had screenshotted some, which I was.
Yeah. Can you share your screen and walk us through some of those tweets?
Yeah, this one, Casey Neistat was there and he was making fun of Kum Go. And I remember being at a restaurant, being called a Casey's. And I got 100,000. Like that was pretty fun. That was a fun one. In my Kum era, that did well. That was a really good one. God, that was a good tweet. I miss Twitter. This is also, okay, this is my last one. Please stop asking me to use a C in my name instead. No one wants to go to a Kum Co.
Very clever.
Yeah.
It takes a little bit of courage for a corporation to be able to turn over their social accounts in this way and say like, yeah, go make a bunch of jokes about coming and,
totally.
Ejaculation and all these things.
It was never about it. This is the thing. You said that word. I didn't, it was always the double entendre is only a double entendre if you never acknowledge what
You're
you're.
right. I
That's
am.
like
That's in my head.
that says more about you than me. I didn't even know what you're talking about. So to me, it was always just about the funny word "come."
Kind of back to the point though,
Yeah,
is it does take some, like you're saying that the company was acquired, that they took all the tweets down.
they did. They did. Well, the reason why this company worked is actually it's not scalable. It's my friend's dad owned the company. A guy I went to college with the guy, and I'm still friends with this family. I was working at the Red Cross, and I was pretty burned out doing humanitarian kind of stuff. And I'd had a child, and I was like ready to go back to the U.S. And my friend was like, you should come lead our comps. And I said, I will, but you have to let me do whatever I want because we can have a lot of fun. And they just didn't care. They're like, it was a family-owned convenience store. They made all their money on, what convenience stores make money on, gas and cigarettes and Coca-Cola. And like, they were like, do whatever you want. We don't give a shit. So like, and then it ended up getting quite big. Like it ended up, we were getting an article. We were in like Axios. We were in Adweek. Like, but it was because they were really cool about it. But they also like knew me. So they trusted me, which is like hard to replicate.
Yeah. The trust factor is so key.
Yeah.
Right. Like
Totally.
if you have trust and confidence in the marketing team you're working with, then I think magic can really happen, but you can't force that.
Yeah.
It has to just kind of be earned.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think it's the single most important thing you need to make this stuff happen.
So let's talk a little bit about what's going on in air. I feel like there's these kind of like esteemed marketing lists of examples of companies. Yeah. And you probably know what I'm talking about. It's like the same 10 companies kind of get held up on the pedestal like again and again and again, right? Yeah. If someone's like, you pulled 100 marketers and you said like, who's got the most innovative brand right now? It's like Post Hog is on the list, right? Like people are like, did you see the website? Oh yeah. But it feels like that's the direction air is headed. I don't know. That's sort of from where I'm sitting.
I'm certainly trying.
Yeah. So how are you doing it? Give us all your secret sauce, Ari.
I was not friends with the CEO and founder of Air. I didn't know him at all. But it is fundamentally the same combination of what has worked here was worked at Kum Go, which was, and he had actually heard about, we got connected through, funnily enough, a Kum Go connection. One of our investors had a product there, but he had heard, he liked the Kum Go stuff. And we aligned very much on the tone and the voice very, very early. Like I remember the first phone call he and I had, and that is the bedrock of what allows you to do the work. And we have a sort of unorthodox, I guess, like structure here in that I report directly to him. And I'm not the CMO of this company. There's not a CMO of this company currently. And I think I also have a counterpart who's a head of marketing. And he and I work really closely together, but I've been at the company for 4 years now. And I work closely with, both co-founders and really the entire team. I mean, obviously when I started, it was a pretty small business, and we're at, I don't know, nearly 100 people now. So it's grown quite a bit. But it's always remained and maintained that ethos of like, we believe that doing this kind of marketing is important because our audience, our customer, are the marketers that respect this kind of marketing, which is like very, like, that's it. Like the fact that you know about it is because like, I think there are a lot of places you could do cloud storage or digital asset management or content, iteration, ideation, scaling and sharing. Like, Air is not the only one. I think it's the best one, but like there are literally thousands. And now with, the ability to vibe code these things, you can probably replicate Air in 5 minutes. And we always felt like brand was a moat, which I give a lot of credit to the founders for believing in, and then really empowering and enabling me to do the stuff that I felt like we could, to take big bets, I guess I would say. So
I think too, because your customers are going to be kind of the marketing and the creatives.
Totally.
It's like you really got to stand out as a brand.
I'm not going to win you over with endless, meta ads. Like it's like meta ad, you live in meta ads. Like we all live in meta ads. So like the Google search terms, you have to be good or whatever. But like I'm not a performance marketer. Like if you ask me to help, like but I am, I think, somewhat decent at being able to speak to people like you, because you and I are the same, as are your audience, as are the people you talk to on LinkedIn. And like, we want to know who is on that list, who's doing aspirational marketing that I wish I could do, who makes me jealous. And I just try to make content that would make me jealous, honestly.
Yeah. Well, you're doing a great job of it. I have to let you in on a little secret though. Okay. Sometimes I watch your stuff and I feel like I'm not cool enough to get it all the way.
Wow.
But I still enjoy it and I'm
Yeah.
entertained by it, but I feel
Really,
like I'm missing some little piece of it that
you're not.
I'm not online enough, or I'm not cool enough to kind of all the way get it.
No, well, I appreciate your candor, but and vulnerability in saying that, but I want to assure you, one, you're very much cool enough. Two, if it feels like it's really like you're missing something, it's probably just honestly that it's probably stupider than you're giving it credit for. It's actually probably just, it's be like, oh, there must be another piece of this that they've thought of. Like, no, we probably just put out some bullshit, and you are not giving yourself enough credit. So I would
Oh,
say, yeah, I wouldn't worry about that.
that's very kind. So
Yeah.
let's get into some of the campaigns.
Okay.
I wanna talk specifics.
Sure.
What has been, let's say you have to go into a job interview and
Yeah.
you brag about the campaign you're most proud of
Yeah.
at Air. What do you say? What was that campaign?
It's like asking me which of my kids I like the most.
I know it's so hard, but I always choose the oldest
I always, yeah, the oldest,
because the
yeah.
youngest still can't talk
Yeah,
and isn't sleeping through the night. And so always
that's tough.
I have to prioritize in that
That's
way.
fair.
And
That's
it's
fair.
hard to say it out loud publicly, but
No, I think
you can have a favorite.
You can, and you must. It's brave of
Yeah.
you. Although once the
Yeah.
little one starts talking,
Well, I'll reevaluate the list
yeah,
in
you
the
can evaluate.
future.
I love the one that won the Webby that we did with the Cream and the Rizzler, where we went to a basketball court.
Here's to the crazy ones. The social media rock stars, the creative directors, the tasteful tastemakers, and content curators. We don't fit into your idea of what normal is. That's because we don't think outside the box. We destroy it. Those creatives bold enough to think that they can change the world, well, they're the ones who do. We do this for the love of the game.
One of the things that we believe, like we don't work with agencies by and large. I mean, we work with some small production companies and some small creative agencies and counterparts, but we try to really build this in-house creative team. And it's not just me. There's a team that I work with who are incredible. And we all kind of have these ideas that we kind of share and shape, but we execute them ourselves. And this idea for the Kareem one was, I was like, it'd be really funny. I found that I saw the Rizzler stuff early on. I was an early Rizzler adopter, and I said, this kid's got the thing. He's got it. Now I end up getting in touch with his dad. Like I also don't like to go through the agents if I can avoid it. So I was like chatting with his dad, and I was like, I have this idea. It'd be so funny to do a video where the Rizzler dresses up as Steve Jobs, and Kareem Rama dresses up as Steve Jobs, and they do I wrote the script for like a stupid but the classic the Apple commercial, like here's to the crazy ones. I think we actually literally copied that and then just like kind of tweaked it slightly. And like we went to and I called like Taylor Lorenz to come play a journalist, and we shot like this fake behind the scenes where we got into a fight about it. We had this guy New York Nico who also was involved, and it was just kind of like, I like these world building things where you're like, what even is this? Like, is this a commercial? Is it a fake commercial? Why is the Rizzler there? Why is Kareem Rama from Subway Takes playing the Rizzler and also Steve Jobs? And like, to me, again, there's no like greater, there's nothing like intelligent about it other than like, it's so stupid, it's maybe smart, or maybe it's so smart, it's stupid. But it's just like, let's bring a lot of funny, interesting stuff together and make it nominally an ad, but also make it highly absurd, because that I really enjoyed. And I was really pleased that we won a Webby and beat Apple. So that was what made me happy. So thank you.
I mean, really, we're just in it for the awards.
That's it. Give me the awards.
Marketers are highly susceptible to
flattery. All I want is that Webby. I want validation at the table.
Yeah.
No, but we also, the other thing about that was that we made that for, I don't know, very little. Like we shot it on like, it was like one guy, we didn't have, like, it was all just like done. I bought donuts. I PA'd it. Like when my colleagues came and helped, like I bought the clothes at Uniqlo myself. Like we made it ourselves. Like we literally produced it.
That's
and
awesome.
Like we didn't have a lot of money for that. And I'm like telling my bosses that he's like, okay, cool. Like, I'm like, it's a Rizzler, and he's like Steve Jobs, and we're on the thing. He's like, what's the Rizzler? And like, but he's like, go, like, great. And so, stuff like that is fun.
Walk me through then. So you just kind of had this idea, it popped into your head.
Yeah.
And a lot of it was just like, let's just roll with this. Like kind of having the courage to just be like, this is kind of a nutty thing.
Yeah.
We're going to do this weird skit.
Yeah.
And then what was kind of the result, outside of the award? I saw the campaigns that you're talking about. They are very funny.
Yeah.
Like what happened from that?
I think one, it went pretty viral, which is great, which is nice. It was written about.
You don't have to be humble here. You can brag. It's okay.
No, like obviously, people can say like virality doesn't matter. Like I still, again, like an old internet thing that matters to me is like, I believe that earning views, if you can get people to watch something, you're not paying them to watch, then you've done something as a marketer that's like pretty cool and admirable. And like, I want to make stuff people want to watch. I didn't boost that video and it got, I don't know, millions of views. And I'm really proud of that. We do it a lot. Like we try to do it a lot, which is like, how can we bring our brand into these center of culture moments? Because we want to be part of the lists of marketers who talk about, but we also want to be the list of tech stack of people that are like, when you're a creative, like, oh man, like if you're going to use, why are you using Dropbox? You should be using Air. Why are you still using Frame? You can also use Air. Like my goal is to always make sure we are part of that conversation, but we can't be part of that conversation. And I think this is where like B2B gets it wrong, is like, you can't be part of any conversation if no one knows who the fuck you are. Like, and there's 10 million of you. Like, so like, and if you want like real people to know who you are, not like the same 300, venture-backed marketers who are just selling to each other, then like, you got to figure it out. It's like, I can't just go on, like, I can't just give Exit 5 all my money and like call it a day. Like I have to figure out how to get like my mom to have heard about this.
Like, I love that. Break down a little bit about as head of content at Air and kind of how you guys are approaching it. How do you break that down into a playbook, or like, what's the strategy behind that?
I should also just say, I think Exit 5 is cool, and I still want to be on Exit 5. And
we're not. Don't worry, they're not listening to the podcast. I have like 20 subscribers.
No, we're not taking brick by brick, man. Sorry, the play. I don't really have I don't know if I'm a playbook guy. I think the playbook is come up with a great idea and then fucking do it. And like, I don't even think it's more complicated. I think like we overcomplicate things a lot. And again, I'm really blessed to have a really great counterpart in our head of marketing who does have playbooks and he came from Figma and Duolingo and is so good at his job. And I thank God for him every day, because his ability to like structure and think through and map out what things should look like and how we, what levers we need to press, doesn't give me and my team more space to be like, cool, like, what if we sent, I don't know, this person here or something, like.
Tell me about your guys' Super Bowl. Super Bowl campaign.
This is actually, and this is the CEO. He called me like he called me like, I don't watch football. He called me like 10 days before the Super Bowl, whatever that was. And he was like, he was in India. His family is Indian. He's Indian American. And so he was in Mumbai and he was like, I was reading about how like cheap it is to buy TV spots in India. And I was like, he's like, we should do it. I think he was like, we should do a Super Bowl ad in India. And I was like, I Google, I'm like, wait, I'm like, dude, the fucking Super Bowl's in like 8 days. He's like, yeah, all right, fair enough. And then I'm like,
I saw his LinkedIn post that he's like, we did this in 7 days or something.
Literally.
And I wasn't sure if that was real or not, but you're saying that's 100% true.
No, it's 100% true. He doesn't, all his shit, everything he posts is real. He doesn't post any, I'll do like some bullshit. I'll do like something, maybe he's 100% telling the truth. It was literally, so we was in sync. So he had to get the rights to the song In the Air Tonight by Phil Collins. So I'm like, and I found Darshan, who's this very famous, like kind of another meme type, but like a beautiful singer, Indian artist. And so I reached out to his agent like that night on like 1 a.m. And the next morning I went at 6 a.m. on Instagram and he like texted me back. I'm like on a call with Darshan and Sunil Shetty. We got through Shane, which is kind of cool because he's like one of the most famous Indian actors alive. He's like the George Clooney of India. And so he was willing to do it. And we did it literally. Shane's cousin shot it. Like we did it in like, I'm not kidding, like 4 days. And we got the rights to the song cleared like 6 hours before. It was insane. I like had to get a friend who knew someone at a music thing. I had to find, because it was like Phil Collins' music was bought by someone else. It was like a whole thing. It was insane. And it was not even like a campaign we played. And it was like, yeah, I don't know. It has like 11 million views. So it went crazy. So yeah.
I'll play the campaign on this so people can see what we're talking about.
I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Oh Lord, can you feel it coming in the air tonight?
No, it is not working. Wait. This might just work. Creative work has no country, no language, no accent, but it will always have a home on air.
In the air tonight.
I love that video. I thought that was really fun. And we shot all these reactions in Mumbai. It was like really cute. It was really a fun.
I'm seeing companies have a lot of success by the thing that they do isn't actually the end goal. It's like the conversation that then comes out of the thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I don't know how many of your ICPs are in India, or if that's like a market you guys are trying to move into or whatever, but it doesn't really matter.
Not really. Yeah.
It's like the fact that you did that, that you put all this time and attention into it, or 4 days of attention, and you threw this whole like crazy, let's use a football term, Hail Mary together to do this thing was so insane in of itself that's the thing that then sparks all of the crazy virality and interest and all of the things.
100%. Yeah, exactly right. I think like if you're like, okay, our audience, like not our audience. I mean, like, yeah, sure. Like eventually, I hope everyone in India is on air. But no, it was not. It was, again, it's also like why maybe I'm naive, but I'm not worried. I have zero worry about being replaced by AI because I think AI doesn't ever want to do stupid stuff like that. And I think the best creative stuff is always going to be kind of be logical. And so, we're going to keep doing stuff that doesn't really make that much sense. And I think I hope it continues to resonate.
I think another trend that I'm seeing right now, and I'm kind of curious to get your take on it, because it seems like you guys are doing a lot of this as well, is that things don't have to be overly polished.
Yeah.
And in fact, a lot of times people don't want it to be overly polished. Like we've been shooting everything on iPhones.
Yeah.
With like little clip-on mics. And I think I don't even know where I read this recently. I think it was in some big marketing newsletter that I subscribed to, but like Rippling is doing like half their campaigns on iPhones, like on the streets of New York City.
Yeah.
And then half of their campaigns, they're hiring out like $30,000 a day, full production crews to go and do the full polished thing. And it's like the content kind of performs the same.
Totally. It's tough too, because you're like trying to balance out, like if you're making stuff that's real, you want it to look really good, but you don't want it to look too good that people are like, they just made an AI or something, right? You kind of want to like have this, I don't know, I go back and forth on this because like some of the stuff we do and the best performing stuff we do is truly shot on my phone in 7 seconds. And, that's like kind of the classic thing. And then I can spend $100,000 on a video that 5 people watch. And I think that's just one of the things I think there's probably space for both, but I love making the stuff that's on the iPhone or shot on someone's Zoom or something like that. I think that stuff's fun. And I like, it's like the original joy of the internet was always that like it democratized the ability to make stuff for everybody. Yeah. So it's fun to see like people in the team make stuff, or when we're able to kind of make cool stuff.
Like what advice would you have for a creative, a marketing person, a team, whatever, that feels like you have to have some big budget to pull things off?
I mean, I just think it's like such a classic excuse for like a lack of creativity. I don't know. Like I've literally never had a big budget to pull anything off. And the best and my favorite market, people who do the stuff that I really admire, have also usually like $1 million doesn't like buy you a brain. Like it doesn't buy you like a cool thing. Like you can't buy funny. Like you can't like same thing with like you can't automate out that stuff. Like you've got to have a spark of something interesting. You've got to have something to say, and you can shoot that on your phone and it can be extraordinarily successful. I just think like it's a cop out to blame. I mean, like, sure, it's cool to have lots of money to throw at stuff, but the best work I've ever done in my career consistently has always been when I've had the most constraints, but the freedom again from people in leadership to do something different.
Honestly, that's been a theme that I'm hearing on all the guests that I have had on.
Yeah.
That seems to be like a consistent theme across everything.
Yeah, no, it checks out. I mean, it's really, I think it's like the biggest thing. Like you have that hurdle removed and that block is not there, then like, it's really you're only as good as your ideas now. Like you have no one to blame, like anyone who's like, I don't have enough money to make good stuff is like, look at all the incredible TikTok and Instagram influencers and creators now, especially like you look at Gen Z creators who are incredible and funny, and even creators who are older, millennial creators, whatever, like, who've been making stuff now for nothing for like 30 years. And it's stuff that's really funny or really moving or really powerful and really well shot. And so like, I don't know. I think you gotta take advantage of that.
Who's your marketing crush right now? Whose content are you really liking?
I mean, I'm always a fan. I'm a friend and a fan of Nathan Albach. He's lead social at Ramp, and Kendall Tucker, who does their event stuff and does some of their wacky. I think Ramp does, I mean, in our space, to me, Ramp is the gold standard of this stuff. And I know both of them, and I really admire both of them. I think they're both really sharp and really funny. and they think through stuff and they're a great answer to what you can do when you have money. Like you look at some of the extraordinary campaign work they do. I think it's probably bar none the best in the biz. Everyone I admire, I just immediately try to work with because I think they're all really smart.
Yeah, it's a good strategy. Why do you think brand matters in 2026?
I think maybe brand has never mattered so much as it does in 2026 is the truth. I think that for a long time, people said brand mattered, but I don't think they really meant it. I don't know if they even knew what that meant, but I think that the dominance now of AI's ability to really replicate everything and anything means there are very few things that you can really hold as like uniquely us. Like I could start a soda company tomorrow and like ask Claude and Chat to like make it like Liquid Death, but for me, and like it would probably come up with like a fine thing, and like, but like I could never replace like that thing that they did and they've done really well, and that audience that they've built, and that credibility they have in the community and so on. Right, talk about like the brands that are always on those lists, right? Like that's a really hard thing. That's a hard thing it takes a long time to build and like a really long time. Like I've been doing this at Air for 4 years, and like I bet 90% of the people don't even know what Air is. And I like still have to keep going, and I'm going to go every month. Like it just takes a long time. And then one day
there's no shortcut.
No shortcut. You just have to keep going. Like, people have short attention spans. And so like brand is the only way forward. I think it remains the most efficient way, I believe, to market in a world of absolute clutter and noise and trash and slop of all kinds, AI and not AI. So I think you build credibility with a brand, and you build love and admiration, maybe even ideally, like even a little bit of hate, like even a little bit of derision. And I think then you've built something people actually care about and talk about. Otherwise, like 98%, especially of SaaS brands, you are completely forgotten.
That's absolutely true. I mean, when you create polarizing takes, I feel like that you're on the right track.
Yeah.
When you have people who are just like, what the hell are you doing? This is literally terrible.
Yeah.
I had some guy that I really, really pissed off who was saying I should be fired. Wow. And then not only put it on my CEO's page, but then went into my content and went through a bunch of my old posts and was basically just ranting on all of my posts about how I should be fired. And I loved it. I was like, this means I'm winning. Like, yes, I want people to feel really strongly in one way or the other about what we're doing, because that's how you stand out in a crowd.
Totally. I think that's right. I mean, I think, I agree. I think if you're not angering someone, you're not pushing hard enough. So
yeah, Ari, huge fan of what you guys are doing. We'll continue to root for Air on the sidelines, and appreciate you coming on the podcast.
Thank you, Kayla. It's lovely to be here. I appreciate it.